We're going to talk to two members of the state Senate. We will talk in just a few minutes to Senator Sean McCann from Kalamazoo. But first, we're going to start with Senator Aric Nesbitt of Lawton. He is in Lansing this evening. Senator, you listened to that speech, as we all did. Give me your first take.
Well, the State of the State address, the governor outlined her plan and called on the legislature to work with her. And we've tried over the last 2 years to work with the governor. We tried passing tax relief for small businesses that have been forced to shut down, no fault of their own by this governor, struggling during this pandemic, and help people who lost their job to no fault of their own. And she vetoed those pieces of legislation last year. Really common sense pieces of legislation, but this is really nothing new for Governor Whitmer. She's chosen the go-it-alone approach. Remember, to start off with, she demanded a 45-cent per gallon gas tax increase, nearly $3 billion of higher taxes on taxpayers here in the state, 40% increase on small business owners. And we've seen this throughout this pandemic, is that, again, this go-it-alone approach of not working with the legislature to secure PPE, to secure testing supplies. And again, we just saw her Health and Human Services Director resign last week in disgrace after a failed rollout of the vaccine. West Virginia, South Dakota, Alaska are all doing a lot better than Michigan is.
What is the current relationship between the legislature and the governor? Is there a place to build a cooperation between these two groups? I mean, let me say that against the backdrop of what happened today. There were those 13 nominations for commissions and boards that I believe you yourself recommended be rejected. And part of that is in response to what you as a group want the governor to do on COVID. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just zero communication from the legislature. You have to remember, going back to even April, she said the legislature was a non-essential part. That means every one of our constituents throughout the state are saying that your voice doesn't matter in the legislature. The Supreme Court last fall said, you know what, it does. The legislature does have a role in this. And we went ahead and actually passed a strong bipartisan budget package that extended unemployment benefits, helped out small business owners, and she vetoed large components of that back in December without much communication, any communication with the legislature. I hope that we see the reopening, the safe reopening of businesses. We see high school sports back in terms of the play, that our kids are back in school learning. It's been a tragedy, the amount of hours, and I appreciate her mentioning it, the amount of hours that the students have been outside the classroom. And I hope, as I salute the teachers and the frontline workers, that we need to get all the students back to make sure that they're educated, and especially those elementary kids, the K through 5, that it's just such an important age to make sure they have the basics available to them and taught to them. So it's really, we need students back in school, playing sports. We need to get vaccines in people's arms. We need a healthy, strong, growing economy that without higher taxes and a bunch of government regulations.
Senator, we are at a point where there are new strains of this COVID virus that are being identified. It is said, no medical expert am I, but by those medical experts, that these may be more easily transmittable, and that means that more people could be getting sick. Are you convinced that we're at a point where it's really safe to further engage the economy, reopen schools, have sports being played on a broader basis at a time when some medical experts are warning that we could see a bigger spread?
Michigan has one of the highest death rates in the Midwest because of the governor's nursing home policies throughout the last year. We got to remember, half of all the deaths happen in long-term care facilities that the governor was putting them in. The legislature passed 2 laws last year prohibiting that. She vetoed both of them. As we go in with this new strain, you're right. Fortunately, early effects show the vaccine is effective against them. That is why it is so important. I salute the folks in Kalamazoo and West Michigan that have been on the front lines producing this vaccine. What a wonderful time to be alive. To see 9 months of a rollout in the vaccine. But you look at other states and the flailing that happened in the response here in Michigan, when you have states like West Virginia, South Dakota, Alaska just running laps around Michigan and getting the shot in the arm. This is something, it's again, it's a lesson throughout the last year where the governor has closed down private businesses instead of challenging them to do the right thing and to challenge them to help fight this virus together. And as you look at it, you got to challenge the people to do the right thing at the end of the day. We're free people, and we need to have the information and the truth that's out there. And a lot of us will make those right decisions to make sure we socially distance, we wear masks, we go ahead and limit our social gatherings and our family gatherings. We're not seeing the big spread at work and at institutions. Where we're seeing the spread at is through social interactions that people make, of outside of those places. So it's not about shutting down the economy. It's about opening up the economy and challenging people to do those safe things of mask usage, of washing your hands, of going ahead and making sure we get the vaccine out into people's arms. And again, these nursing homes, they're still on waiting lists. And yet West Virginia has had every nursing home resident who's wanted the vaccine has had the opportunity to have them 2 weeks ago.
Senator, we appreciate your time and taking time to talk with us tonight. We'll further this discussion as we go on through the weeks. Thanks very much for being with us tonight.